Hey guys, Russ the movie critic is back, and tonight I am gonna watch 1 Hour Photo from 2002, starring Robin Williams. This is a psychological thriller. It's a role where Robin Williams plays a serious character, like a kind of a disturbed character. He is a technician at a 1 hour photo inside of like a supermarket, or it's called Save Mart. I guess it's like a spin-off of like Walmart or Kmart or something. It's called Save Mart. So yeah, he plays a 1 hour photo technician. He doesn't have any family, really no friends, and his life is very ordinary, very plain. He just watches TV when he goes home at night. But the one obsession that he has is this family that keeps coming in to get their photos developed at the 1 hour photo place. Seemingly happy family. It's a young family, a father, a mother, and a son. And he just looks at their pictures and admires their life because they always look happy in the pictures and everything looks great. Until one day when he discovers that the father is having an affair, and then he realizes like, hey, this is not the picture perfect family after all, and it kind of like messes up Cy. The character's name is Cy, played by Robin Williams. Cy suddenly starts to lose his mind because he had this vision of this family that was all like lovey-dovey and happy, and then once he sees that the father was having an affair, all of a sudden he's like, he despises him, and he wants to expose him and punish him for hurting his family. um oh yeah, if you haven't guessed, I've seen the movie before. It's actually been a while since I've seen it. Probably 10 years since I've seen it, but I do remember the basics of what it's about. However, I will go through the movie, just to talk about specific scenes. uh so this movie has gotten mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. I think some people think it's too slow and boring. It's like one of those kind of independent films where it does move kind of slowly and then picks up near the end, from what I can remember. But I'm excited to revisit it again. Robin Williams, I love watching him in anything he's in, whether he's playing a comic role or a serious role. It doesn't matter. He's just fun to watch. And it's funny with Robin Williams, when he does a serious role, like he really does it. He really does it. Like other comedians, when they do serious roles, you can kind of see that they're still trying to be funny. They'll put a little bit of humor into their roles, but not Robin Williams. When he plays a serious role, he gives all to that role. Like you wouldn't, if you didn't know who he was, you wouldn't even guess that he was a comedian. That's how good he is. So anyway, let me get into 1 hour photo, and then I will talk about it after 30 or 40 minutes. I review what I saw, what I see every 30 or 40 minutes. If you see my other reviews, then you know my style. All right, so let me get to it. All right, just got through watching the first 30 minutes of 1 hour photo, and yeah, it's just like I remembered it. Cy, the photo guy, is this lonely guy who loves his job and loves developing the photos for the Yorkin family. I think that's what their name, Yorkin. There's Will, Nina, and Jake. Jake's the kid. Nina's the mother that comes with him to get the photos developed. Uh, so yeah, Sai is kind of obsessed with this family. He actually has copies of the photos that the family develops. Since he has the negative, he makes copies for himself and like posts them up at his house, of this family, and which he's not allowed to do, of course. Uh, but yeah, so he has photos of the family, the same photos that they were developing, and he goes around acting like the kid Jake is his nephew. Like there's a waitress who comes over. He's like at a diner looking at the photos, and then a waitress notices the photo of Jake, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, this is my nephew," and pretending like he's related to them, but he's not. Uh, and we also learn that the family that seems like the picturesque family in the photos, happy and everything. We learn that there's some tension between the husband and wife, Nina and Will, uh, because there's a scene where she's complaining that Will is neglectful, you know, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta work to pay for this big house and the Mercedes and everything," and she's like, "How dare you? This isn't about money. You're neglectful." Like, no, he has to work to pay for all this stuff. At this point, I'm like, I'm not on the side of the wife. I know he eventually has an affair on her, but and cheats on her, but she's not being very reasonable because he's like, "Hey, I gotta pay for this all this stuff that we have," and she's like, "You're neglectful." It's like, come on. I mean, no wonder he cheats. Like honestly, but she's not really understanding about his position because she's like a housewife and he has to make all the money. So, yeah. And now I'm at the scene where Sai is basically, parked outside the Yorkin house. He's like watching them, stalking them, and he's about to go inside the house. So let me get back to the movie, and I'll see you after 60 minutes is up on the movie. All right, 60 minutes into 1 hour photo. Yeah, now it's getting serious. So the whole thing where he was going into their home and like sitting on their toilet, that was all in his mind. Like he imagined himself just like sitting on the couch being part of the family, and then he's like watching sports, and then the family comes home and they all greet him like he's part of the family, but it was all in his mind. He was really sitting in his car the whole time. So yeah, and now he's getting creepy. He's like watching Jake at his soccer practice from the stands, cheering him on like he's his father or something. It's like yeah, and he bought him this action figure that he wanted because his parents wouldn't buy it for him, and yeah, now it's crossing some lines there, and so basically, he's really like obsessed with this family. He's talking to the mother like in a food court at the mall, and like she finds out that he's really single and not married and no kids, and then he gets fired because his boss, played by Gary Cole, finds out that there's all these missing prints, because Sai is secretly, keeping copies of the photos for himself, so he has to, consume more prints to take the photos home with him. But now his boss is catching on to all these missing prints that they have because he's making extra copies of the Yorkins photos so he can keep them. But the boss doesn't know that he's keeping the photos, but the boss knows that Sai is probably responsible for all those like hundreds of missing prints, and because of that, the boss fires him. And Sai's like really upset. He's freaking out, and but the boss is letting him finish his last week, or like he's letting him just finish till the end of the week. And coincidentally, there's this woman, this redheaded woman that is having photos developed there, and Sai sees that in some of her photos, Will Yorkin is in the photos with her, like kissing her and being romantic with her. So now we know that Will is having an affair with this woman, and yeah, she just happens to bring her photos to Sai, the 1 hour photo guy, right? I mean, she doesn't know who he is, obviously. You'd think, like, with all the 1 hour photos that must exist, why would the woman that Will is having an affair with, why would she bring her photos to Sai? Like, what are the odds of that? That she would bring her photos to that have Will in it, showing that he's cheating, and she happens to bring those photos to the 1 hour photo at Save Mart where Sai works, where Sai is working like his last week. It's such a coincidence, a little too much of a coincidence. But anyway, so Sai develops her photo, sees her and Will together. So now he realizes that Will is having an affair on his wife. So now he's really upset. He's angry, and it looks like he's about to do something nasty. Now that he doesn't have a job anymore, he's got all of his time to devote to seeking revenge on Will. Oh yeah, he also before he ended up leaving, he put the photos of Will having and that other woman. He put that photo in with Nina's photos that she was developing, so that she would see her husband cheating in the photo. That was Sai's way of basically, indirectly letting Nina know that her husband's cheating by putting those photos in with her photos. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Got about 36 minutes left. I mean, again, I know how it ends, but it's nice to catch up on this movie. It's pretty good. Not the greatest, but it's interesting. It's interesting. All right, let me get back. All right, I just finished watching 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. Yeah, it was pretty disturbing toward the end, the last 30 minutes. So Robin Williams, Psy, got fired, as you know, and he tries to bring a roll of film to get developed to Save Mart, but the boss doesn't want him to do it, doesn't want him to bring his photos there anymore. But the boss lets him do it one more time, and then after that, he can't come back. So his former coworker Yoshi develops the roll of film and discovers that Sai took pictures of the boss's young daughter, which was disturbing. And then the boss calls the police, and because now it's considered a threat to the daughter's life. And so the police go to Sai's apartment, and then they see a wall of photos, like all the copies of the Yorkin family photos that he kept. And the only thing is that Will Yorkin's face is scratched out of every single photo because Sai's pissed off at him for having an affair on his wife. Uh, so now the police are trying to find Will Yorkin because obviously Sai's going to come after him, which he does. Sai follows him and the mistress to a hotel and pretends to be room service and gets in their room, and with a big knife he tells them to do certain poses because a Will and the other woman are naked because they were doing their business. So Sai tells them to, like, touch each other and do intimate things while Sai takes pictures of them, or seemingly taking pictures of them. We find out afterward that he did. I'll explain in a minute. So Sai's taking pictures and ordering them to do different things, and then Sai leaves, doesn't hurt them. Uh, but what was interesting is Sai only had a knife. It was a big knife, but it was a knife. You would think that, like, they would have tried to overpower him because, yeah, I know a knife is scary, but it's not like a firearm. So, and Will Yorkin is much younger than Sai, so I don't know. I was thinking like he could have probably rushed Sai and overpowered him, but I guess because he was naked, he probably didn't feel secure enough to do that. Uh, so yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. But yeah, so Sai leaves. He doesn't hurt them, and then the police catch up and arrest him outside the hotel or in the parking garage. So after Sai's arrested, he's interrogated about why he did what he did, and then we kind of learn that he was abused when he was a child, and that he doesn't like anyone who neglects their children. But it's not really the same thing because Will never uh, abused his child. He All Will did was have an affair on his wife. It had nothing to do with his son. But it's because Sai is so messed up, he considered any betrayal to his family a neglect, which is kind of funny because Will's wife accused him of being neglectful, but again, he wasn't. Will wasn't really neglectful. He just he was working a lot, but then okay, he cheated, but still, he at least he was providing for his family, right? So I don't really consider that neglect. Um, just because he had marital issues doesn't make him a neglectful husband or neglectful father. But Sai is so messed up from his own trauma from a childhood that he associated those two things together, even though they're completely different things. So yeah. Um, but it's probably realistic considering how that can mess somebody up. So yeah, I mean, I guess I feel sorry for Sai. He seemed like he led a miserable life, and that led him to this point. I really hope that Will and Nina don't end up together again, or I hope Nina doesn't forgive her husband for cheating on her, because I don't know. It's like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Nina because she didn't really, like I said before, wasn't really understanding about her husband working a lot. But at the same time, he doesn't really seem interested in her either, so maybe it's better they just split up. Yeah, I'm advocating for divorce for them. Uh, so yeah, overall, I mean, it is a depressing movie. It's certainly not a movie that's going to cheer you up. But if you want to be depressed, definitely watch 1 Hour Photo. Uh, Robin Williams, great performance in a dramatic role. The other actors, yeah, the actress who played Nina was Connie Nielsen, I believe that's her name, Connie Nielsen. She was actually in Gladiator and Gladiator 2, which were much more successful movies than this one, much more well-known movies. She was also in The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. Yeah, so she's kind of a familiar face. Not really like a well-known actress, but she's been in some movies that are well known. Uh, so yeah, I mean those are the only ones I can think of. Gladiator movies and Devil's Advocate. That's all I could think of that she's been in. But those were good movies too. Anyway, hope you liked my reaction. I'll see you on the next one. Still trying to get to Indy 5. I don't know why I keep putting that off, but I will get to it soon. All right.